still alive here at the Station of Decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and joining me is return of Adam Green. You were the second guest ever on the show, and we started in 2006. It was Sid Haig, and then my MySpace friend Adam Green. So welcome back to the show.
Wow, didn't you used to do like pencil drawings?
Yes,
of each
yeah, my
guest?
brother did all those.
Okay, that's how I remembered it. I'm like, I know I've done this before. I'm like, but I think it was a while ago. I didn't realize it was 80 years ago, though. That's
Right,
crazy.
exactly.
Congratulations on still doing that. Or
Thank
you're
you.
either really good at it or you're really stupid for still doing it.
Exactly. It's maybe a little bit of both, or I don't know, but yeah.
That's what I say about my own podcast. I'm like, why do I still do this? But still do it.
Yeah. Troy, before now that we do it weekly, once we went weekly, it was too much for him to keep up drawing everybody. So send no more pencils.
Well, I still have the drawing he did of me, so please thank him for me.
I will. And last night while I was watching some more, which I'll talk about in a second, I drew this. This is I drew an 8-bit Victor Crowley. It's not as good as my brother's drawings, but it's
it would take me too long to get it out of the glass case, but somebody made me an 8-bit Victor Crowley at a convention years ago, and it's super cool. But that's one of the coolest things about conventions, like the gifts that people bring when it's their own art and they've like drawn a character or a scene that they love or whatever. It's so cool.
So this is out. This is the steelbook of all the Hatchet films up till right now, unless we have some in the near future. And this is amazing. I'm not just saying this here. It's got all the movies. They're loaded with all the extras. And like there's the sit down, it's the Tale of Swamps with Tale of Swamp from you and the producers. And I really liked that because it felt really genuine, like you're just sitting down with three friends reminiscing about, the thing you created.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I love that with this set that they're all the uncut versions of the movie, because there's a lot of people, especially younger people, who found the Hatchet films over the last like 10 years. And whenever I meet them at conventions, they're like, oh yeah, I watched them on whatever, Amazon Prime. And I'm like, oh, then you didn't actually see the movie. Like you saw the censored version of the movie, but they don't tell you that. So now everybody can own the uncensored versions and that extra bonus disc with 2 new hours of special features. And yeah, the Swamp Tales one, I wasn't sure how that was necessarily going to go. We just sat down and started going. And I think it's one of the most like real things you'll ever see as like a special feature, because the stories are so personal, and we go through like mainly stuff that went wrong that, I mean, some of it we can laugh about now, but usually when a movie comes out and you do a commentary, you're just sort of, you can talk about how hard something was, but you still focus on, and everyone was a trooper, and we powered through somehow. But with this, like, you really hear just how much went wrong. So it's fun.
Yeah. And like you said, there's a good message in there too. I thought about loyalty to your friends. Like, I don't want to spoil the whole thing for people, but when the first one's coming out, like, they wanted you to like leave your friends behind as producers, and you stuck with them. And to me, that was great to hear.
Yeah. I think when you find good people, you got to hold on to them for dear life. And I think with this particular series, the fact that so many key people have just kept coming back for each of them, and I can assure you nobody does a Hatchet movie for the paycheck. So people are there because they want to be there, and it's really made a difference. And I think fans can tell that when they watch the films, that like they're made from such a sincere place. So I'm really glad we got to showcase that stuff, and even talk about stuff like the wonderful assistants and PAs that we've had over the years, because a lot of times they don't get the credit for all that they've contributed. So I'm really happy with that piece. And then the second documentary that's on that bonus disc, when we made the first movie, we had this website. I think at the time it was called like hatchetmovie.com, but I might be wrong. And every night, people from the crew or the cast, whoever wanted to, could just write a journal entry and talk about what we did that night, what their experience was. And by the time the movie was done filming, it was this really great, like, real-time story of everyone's experience. So of course, as soon as Anchor Bay bought the film for distribution, they deleted that website.
Yeah.
So I thought for all these years, 20 years now, 19 years, that it was gone. And then my second film, Spiral, is being re-released in a deluxe edition in October. So when I was going through bins of stuff, just seeing what I might still have from that, I found that I had actually thought to print out all of those journals before the site got deleted. So I had everybody who wrote a journal come in and read their journal in their own voice. And then we had, that's the last movie, the first and the last that we ever had a professional set photographer on set for every second of the making of the movie. As the industry has changed and budgets for indie stuff have gotten problematic, you don't do that anymore. Now you're lucky if you have like a few key days that you can have somebody, but then they just sort of expect you to be taking pictures with your iPhone or something.
Right.
No one really has time to be doing on set, and you don't want the crew constantly pulling out cameras, especially on one of these films. So I found all of that photography, and there was thousands of high-res photos that show every single minute of the making of Hatchet 1. So combining those photos with everybody reading their journal entries, I think it's about an hour long, but you literally get to like go through the making of the first original film almost like in real time. So very excited about this bonus disc. And even if you already own the 4 movies uncensored on Blu-ray, there's still definitely a reason to have this as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Terrible Troy is joining us, who drew the picture of you back in the day. So
thank you, Troy.
yeah.
It's a great picture.
Oh, I think you might be muted. So
You're
when
right.
you were, all right, there you go. Yeah.
How we doing, Adam? Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So when you were, putting together what Victor would look like, almost all the slashers before, they were masked, and then you'd have the big scene when, like, one scene of Jason in every movie when they're unmasked. Like, why did you decide to, you wanted Victor to not have a mask, covering his face? Like, he's unmasked throughout the whole movie.
I just never thought he would care to necessarily cover his face. So, and that had been done a lot. I also wanted, which I don't know, in hindsight, maybe it was a mistake at first, but sorry. I wanted to create something that you couldn't easily just make your own costume of. Like, I wanted it to be bigger than that, which is why his hatchet, you can't buy one of those in a store, because usually a hatchet only has a blade on one side of it, and a double blade is for an axe. But the difference between a hatchet and an axe is one is handheld, and one you need, 2 hands to hold the wooden handle. So when I designed the hatchet, it's actually made out of metal and then painted to look like wood, the real one. But then we have stunt ones, which is what Kane uses on set. And occasionally we'll do like a small run from the actual mold used in the film and sell them on the website. But I just love that it's just not something you can just walk into a shop and buy.
Yeah.
These
you have
days,
to put effort into it if you want to dress up as Victor.
Yes. And it's so cool when you see these just super talented makeup artists come to conventions and having made their own Victor Crowley costumes, and how good some of them actually look, and like the details that they get right. That they'll go and run their own hatchets somehow. Although now there is an actual Victor Crowley Halloween mask that people buy, and there's, you can get the hatchet from us every now and then when we have the time, because each one takes like 3 days to make. Wow. So now you'll see people like doing that, but it's even just the body of Victor Crowley, other than the overalls, the rest of your skin is going to be exposed. So you would need to actually make that whole thing as well. But I just wanted it to be something that not everybody could just easily throw together. I just think it makes him a little more special because of that.
Yeah. Did that ever complicate when you're making the movies? Like, maybe you don't want to show too much of Victor at sometimes, but whenever he's there, like, you see all of them.
Yeah, we usually if you were to see the costume when it first goes on, because it's several pieces, it takes a while to get Kane into it each night, but it's not until they like slather him down in KY jelly and then add all the like blood splatter and leaves and dirt, and then it really is frightening. Because before that, it's a little too bright, because it's clean and new looking. But normally just with lighting, we're able to maybe not show everything right away. But by the time you get to sequels, that's who the fans are coming to see. So you want to show them. And we're also very proud of what he looks like. He's went through some changes within like the first 3 films, because the first one, I was never happy with how thick the foam was on one side of Kane's face. And then he's supposed to have like a dead eye, but he couldn't blink that eye. So we had to do that in post. So then on the second one, now he had the contact in and the foam was a little bit thinner and he looked great. But then with the third one, we moved to silicone instead of foam latex, which is incredible. And it's actually faster to get him in and out of, but it weighs 50 pounds. Right. So imagine doing all the things Kane has to do with 50 more pounds on you. The fourth one was brutal because he had to keep running up and down that embankment to where the plane was crashed. And I mean, I was just as a director having to run back and forth to give direction. I was winded. I can't even imagine with 50 extra pounds on.
Oh yeah.
But that's why he's Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
And exactly. I'm not.
So how early on did Kane know you were going to do a sequel? Because you talk, in different parts of this, like that you always wanted to do more of these. It wasn't like you even had some bits in the first one that you knew would lead into the second and third one.
Yeah, we obviously didn't know if we'd ever really get to do more. But I wanted a plan. And so originally I always thought of it as being 3 films, which is why they start and stop on like the same exact frame. Because the idea was, back then I didn't understand anything about unions. I was like, someday we'll cut them all together as one film, and then we'll add in a scene that we shot that no one has seen before. And unfortunately, though, with union rules and stuff, especially opening credits, if one person is getting a credit, other people, then it's called favored nations, then they have to have a credit. So how do you do that unless you move all the credits for all 3 movies up to the credits would be like 9 minutes long. So I doubt that will ever happen, which is fine because there's plenty of theaters that'll do like a marathon of them, or people marathon them at home. It still works. But yeah, it was supposed to be 3 films. And so only John Buechler, and who did the original design for the first one, and Kane Hodder and I knew that Victor Crowley was half black, what his real origin story was, because I didn't want Mary Beth to know every single thing in the first film, like just like the bullet points of an urban legend. That's all she needed to give people. And that's really, frankly, all the audience needed. But I wanted somewhere to go so that if there's a sequel, it means something. And it isn't just now he kills more people, but with each one, you would learn more about him. And now with the fourth one, the way that we brought him back, and I was not planning on doing a fourth one when I did the first 3, like that was supposed to be it. But one thing led to another. It was really a speech from, not really a speech, but I guess a pep talk from George Romero that made me think, oh, wow, yeah, I should keep doing this. So there's a special feature on Victor Crowley on the fourth one where I tell that whole story and you see the photos like of that moment, because it was very unexpected. I was going through a really rough time in like 2014, 2015. Dave Brocky, one of my good friends from Guar, Holliston, obviously, had passed away. I was going through a divorce. It was just awful. And at that point, like I was just at my lowest point. And then I was asked to moderate one of George's panels at a convention in Boston called Rock and Shock.
Oh yeah, that's
nice.
I miss Rock and Shock. We're from
well, now there's Silver Scream Con, which is going to be in the same exact place as Rock and Shock this year, and it's awesome. So it's kind of like Rock and Shock has I don't know, dug itself out of its grave. So, but I love
good to hear.
Yeah. But after George's panel that I moderated, it was just George and I having a conversation about independent filmmaking. Because his thing was, he's like, I don't want to just sit here and be asked, do you like Walking Dead? Should zombies run? He's like, I just want to talk about the craft. And that's what we did. And it was inspiring just to have him treating me like a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
wild.
always just going to be a fan, you know. But I'd known him a little bit for years at that point. And so when the panel was over, he had put his arm around me, and actually, you might be able to see the photo over. Wait, that shoulder, and you probably can't see it well here, but it's hanging over my desk. And yeah, that's it. Oh wait, no,
All
sorry. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
And he put his arm around me, and he's like, I know you're going through some stuff. He's like, but you got to get back up. And he goes, did you look at the t-shirts in this audience? It's like Hatchet, Holliston. He's like, where's the next? George called movies pictures. So he was like, where's the next Crowley picture? And I was just like, you really do know what that is? You know? And I'm like, well, I'm done with that. I did 3 of them. And he's like, you're not done till they say you're done. And
Nice.
it was just, and it was quick. It was like, I don't know, 25 seconds, 30 seconds. It's just a little conversation. But it was one of those things where the right person said the right words at the right time. And that was probably the only person I would have heard them from.
Right.
And in that moment. And then when I got back from Rock and Shock, I wrote Victor Crowley. And when I sent it to Sarah and Will and all the usual people, their first response was anger. They were like, what? No more. Why are we doing this? And then, of course, Kane was like, fuck yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then once they read it, they were like, yeah, we got to do this. So anyway, but the point is, the way that we brought him back was different from how he was originally created. And if someday we ever decide to do more, now I can get him out of the swamp. But that's all I'll say.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe not to space yet, but that'll be it.
Not yet. Not to the 8th one.
Right.
There you go.
Did you ever regret not directing part 3? And I don't mean like you didn't like the movie or anything, but like just, you directed all of them but one.
Once you're doing like the third, or I guess the second sequel to something, it's a lot like TV show running, because it's my script, it's my crew, it's my project. I'm there every day, every moment of it. The only reason I didn't like direct it was because I didn't have time to do post-production. And that's the part that everybody seems to forget about, because when you watch the making of a movie, they just show you those days on set. That's just a few days. There's like sometimes 12, 18 months that you're on it as a director, from start all the way to delivery. And so at the time, I was doing Digging Up the Marrow. I was doing season 2 of Holliston, which was so much work because I'm the writer, the director, the showrunner, the star. Like, that show was a lot. And I was doing this thing called Killer Pizza. So I'm like, look, I'll be there every moment of Hatchet 3, but then once post comes, like, I just want to see it when it's done, and I'll give my notes because I still had final cut. So I wound up being much more involved than I thought I was going to be. But still, I love that movie. I think it's the best looking of all 4 of them. I mean, we had more toys on that one. We had condors, and we had condors, as you'll hear in the new special feature on the first one, but they couldn't make it to where we were shooting. Yeah. So we still paid for them, but we couldn't use them. And then, yeah, it was a whole thing. But I think 3's terrific, and I think BJ did a terrific job. But Will Barrett, man, like, I mean, he shot the first 3, and he just killed it with that 3rd one. So yeah, I never felt like, oh, I'm giving it away. It was still my thing. But I was sort of happy, at least in the very beginning, to just sort of pass the torch and watch this thing keep going, knowing I still at least had the final say on things. Right. But that I was gonna, like, that was supposed to be the victory lap. When I went down there, I thought, I'm just going to sit in a trailer and keep writing season 2 of Holliston, and then just go drink coffee and sit in a director's chair like everyone else and just watch the monitor. But it was a hard shoot, just really because of the elements and the bugs, and it was brutal.
Mm-hmm. So I've seen all the movies before, but I watched them all in order for the first time. I probably never did that before, watch them all at once. And when you get to the 4th one, there is a death scene that is really out of a completely different tone than all the other movies. It's a drowning scene. And Like, is there a reason for that? Because it's completely different than the tone of all the movies.
Yeah. I wanted to do something a little different if we were going to bring this back again. I didn't want it to just be people running through a swamp, the same thing we've seen before, which was the purpose of the whole airplane and the crash. And then the fact that the characters have to make this difficult choice. Either they get out of the plane and get killed by Victor Crowley, or they stay in the plane and potentially drown. And then the added dilemma of a pregnant woman trapped under those seat rails and the water's rising. And what do they do? I didn't realize how that scene was really going to affect people until the first time I saw it with an audience. Like, we tested the film before we locked picture, like you always do. But because that one was secret, it had to be a very select group of people. And what we did was, the editor of the fourth one, Matt Latham, he invited some friends over who don't like slasher movies and had never seen a Hatchet film before, because that's who I wanted to hear from. I didn't want to hear from fans of it. I wanted to know what isn't working. And the funny thing about that screening is that they said that one of their notes was, what happened to the pregnant girl that was trapped under the seat rails? And Matt, the editor, and I are like, what? She drowned. And two different people in that room were like, I didn't see that. Like, how did you not see it? And it was literally just switching two shots, because Dave Sheridan's character, Dylan, started screaming first. And then we saw what he was screaming about, that she's underwater. And then we just reversed that. And then we never had that problem again. But that's why you got to show people that are just going to be brutally honest with you, and who don't necessarily, they're not there to like it. They're there to just give you feedback from an editing standpoint, which was priceless. But once I saw it with an audience and how silent it got, and then on the second night of the tour, I heard sniffles, and I'm like, is somebody crying in a Hatchet movie? It wasn't until like the fifth or sixth night when I realized what I had done. And like, obviously I was working through some shit on that movie. I mean, it starts with two characters getting engaged and massacred for trying to dare be in love. And I didn't see that when I wrote it, but Joe Lynch read the script and he's like, wow, you're working through some shit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, he literally cuts off her engagement finger. And I'm like, oh yeah. But if you think about that film, it's all characters that are relationships either coming apart or trying to get together, but being torn apart. So what I realized with Tiffany Shepard's death scene was, that was me working out. At the time, all I ever wanted was to have kids. Like, I know you're supposed to, as a filmmaker, be like, I just wanted to make movies, but no, like in my real life, that's always what I wanted, was a family. And in those years, it seemed like that ship sailed and that's never going to happen. And that's what that scene was me working through, oh, these guys are about to have a baby. No, I'm going to take that away from them. So it's a little deeper than most people want to look in a Hatchet movie, but I'm glad you pointed that out, because that scene is way more serious than anything else. There's also,
especially watching them all together, like, it really stuck out for me.
Yeah. But I do like to surprise people every now and then with something. I think with Frozen, I think people knew it was going to be scary, intense, but the speech that Parker gives about her dog starving to death because no one knows that she's there, to watch audiences just like fall apart watching that was
that was the tough one on me too. Yeah.
Right. But it's like, but you want to make things human. You want to connect with people. So it doesn't always have to be through sadness. Usually I do it through humor, but that's what that scene was.
Yeah. And I want to ask about festivals, because you brought up conventions, and you talk about, you premiered at Fright Fest, and how important are festivals, do you think, then and now?
Very important. In fact, now they might even be more important than ever if it's a truly independent film. And what you want to do is you want to try for the market festivals where there's acquisitions, people there with a checkbook looking to, I don't think anybody has a checkbook anymore, but you know what I mean? But they're looking to acquire films for distribution, because a lot of mistakes that people make is they'll finish a film and then whatever the first thing is that's coming up, they're like, well, let's play there. Once you've played somewhere, the bigger places aren't going to take your film. So you really got to try for like the Sundances, the Torontos, Cannes, like any of those. So the first Hatchet premiered at Tribeca, which is not a market festival per se, but at least there's some prestige to it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it didn't really help the film because even though the reviews were incredible and the audiences were incredible, we really didn't have any offers. And then we went to Fright Fest in London a few months later, and that was the one where all of a sudden, like Stitches and Fantasy Fest and fantastic, like everybody started calling for the movie because of the response out of London. So you never really know, but it might be your only chance to see your movie the way it was meant to be seen on a screen with a crowd. So I highly encourage everybody to try to do it because I mean, these days it's streaming, you know, and there's those of us who still love physical media, which is fantastic. But the majority, if it isn't a thumbnail on a streaming site, they're probably never going to watch it. And then even when, I don't know, I just have this thing. I love streaming. I use it all the time, but it seems like movies don't mean as much to a good portion of people now because it's just something else to click on and they're watching it at home. They're talking, they're texting, whatever it is they're doing. No, sure, not everybody does that, but it's rare when there's a movie that still has the same excitement that you see on social media or whatever for people. It's usually, oh, this weekend I watched these 9 things. It was all right. It was pretty cool. Sorry. I didn't finish that one. It was all right. Like, it's just, so if you make a film, try to play it in a festival. And if you don't get into any of the big ones, that's fine. But then, you know, do the other ones that want it, but go and be there if you can, so that you can actually see the response, talk to the audience, hear what they have to say. It's the most important. I mean, we do this to entertain people. So why would you rob yourself of that part of the filmmaking process? Like, go entertain people, or hopefully entertain people.
Yeah. I don't want to make about myself, but so I finished my first film a couple of years ago when we premiered at Fright Fest, and then we had our US premiere at Scream Fest.
Oh, at Fright Fest in London?
Yeah, and it was definitely it was like a highlight for me of my not just doing the show and everything, but it was a amazing experience. And what you said is exactly.
So at Fright Fest, which screen?
We were at the smaller one at the Prince Charles, which is very cool though. So
yeah, Prince Charles. I did
one, and then it's kind of the underground Prince Charles one.
Sorry, I can't. I'm backwards, so I got it. That poster is from a double feature I did at the Prince Charles of Hatchet and E.T. And
that's amazing.
They were like, "Wait, what's the second movie you want to film?" And I'm like, and there were people there who had never seen it. I'm like looking out in the audience, and there was, you know, the black eyeliner and the black t-shirt, and I'm like, "Trust me, you're gonna love this. I know you." And someone's like, "I watched the trailer before I came here. It doesn't look very scary." I'm like, "No, it's the best movie ever made. You just got to trust me on this." And at the end, people were crying and everything, and I was like,
"Of course, yeah."
But yeah, the Prince Charles is great. But Fright Fest is an awesome festival. I went like almost 10 years in a row at one point. Like, even if I didn't have a movie showing there, I still went. Like, just and the people, just so great. It's
people with tattoos. You know, a Fright Fest. You know, just people that are hardcore fans, and
and they come from all over the world. And again, but so that's a great point though. Like, that's why if you can, go to a festival, because those are the people you made it for. So you gotta see it with them.
Yeah. I agree 100%. For any level, if you want to make movies or you just love movies, to me, festivals are the way to go.
Absolutely.
So real quick before I let you go, I just want to know, you talked about distributions changing, you know, from Hatchet to now. What are your thoughts on that? And are you like positive or negative for like the future of horror movies?
I don't know, man. Am I positive or negative? It's just a different world than it was when I started, and I feel bad saying this in some ways, but I'm just very fortunate that I hit when I hit, because in 2007, when Hatchet came out, I think it was on like 100 screens across the country. So I was just so excited it had a theatrical, even though it was the R-rated version, which sucks because it was missing a bunch of stuff. But still, to make your first real movie and have it be released in theaters was amazing. But then just Blockbuster rentals alone, the movie did something like 7 or 8 million in the first like 12 days. And that's the part that it's so many people, they just look at like they'll go to IMDb to be like, how much money did it only made 250,000. Okay, but how many screens was it on? And what you know, if you want to really put a movie in theaters, you're talking like 25-40 million minimum in marketing. So yeah, for an indie movie, it was way beyond what we had ever hoped it would do. And that was just the first 2 weeks of rentals. So now imagine the people who purchased it, and then worldwide, like how big it got. And so the fact that we got to make 4 of them already, the fact that there's 3 different action figures now, like in Target and Walmart, and Halloween masks, and the comic book series has been going, I think, like 6 or 7 years now. Wow. I never, ever would have thought. And the thing I need to stress is that we never had marketing. We didn't have this huge like financial push behind it. It was fans. It was things like this. It was people doing shows and having a platform and talking about it.
Word of mouth helps so much, you know.
It totally does. Even to this day, it helps.
Yeah.
So I feel positive, because I feel like when the internet first came out, it was either for porn or shit talk. Like that was it. And now it's for porn, shit talk, and people trying to use the platform for good. And I think the horror community, more than anyone, like, sure, they love to bitch or complain every time there's a new whatever franchise, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hatchet, doesn't matter what it is. Oh, it sucked. It wasn't as good as the last one. Then another one comes out, and all of a sudden that last one was pretty good. And then the new one. So yeah, you're going to get that, but you're also going to get some of the nicest people alive. Anybody who does this, whether you do it for a living or for fun, go to the conventions and be around our people. And I've been saying this a lot lately, but we're living in a time where they keep telling us we're so divided. Americans hate each other. I just did like 8 conventions all over the country. And sure, I was in a bubble being at a horror convention. Those are traditionally very open-minded, kind, nice people. I'm not saying I went to a Proud Boys rally and everybody was cool. But just get out there and talk to people, smile. Like it's not that bad. And just being around fellow nerds.
And still, horror conventions are very diverse people. Like they're not everyone's in black t-shirts and tattoos and stuff. You know, it's like, you know, I would say quote unquote normal looking people, but
there's families. Everybody's there. Everybody, like, if you just make the most minimal amount of effort, you're going to leave with like 5 friends you didn't know you had.
So true.
And that's one of the things I love so much about this genre, and why I always want to keep at least 1 foot, if not both feet, in it. So yeah, these last 4 years have been weird because the pandemic, and then we had strikes and everything. So like, I'm ready to get back at it, and knock on wood, hopefully in a matter of weeks. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Very good. This is great having you back on. Love to have you back sometime again before 18 years, whatever it's been.
There you go.
But Hatchet, Steelbook, this is really great. Not just because you're here. I know I say that too often, but it was a good time. And it's crazy watching this. I remember the time. I didn't remember, you know, anyway, the first 2 movies had so many problems with the gore. Then, you know, I've seen Terrifier 2 at the theater with way more horrible stuff going on. So it's a very strange thing that
well, they were 12 years after us.
Yeah.
And then they were like one of the first films out towards the end of the pandemic, when people wanted to go back to the theater. There wasn't much playing in the, like, that was just awesome what happened with that film.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm very excited about that. I'm really excited for the 3rd one that's going to be coming soon.
Too, yeah.
And Victor Crowley needs somebody to fight at some point.
Those are the 2 like big icons. I hate to overuse icon, but for years it was, you know, Leatherface and all these guys. And now we have, you know, Victor Crowley and Art the Clown. These are like legit, like, you know, horror icons that people know and dress.
Well, there's nothing planned, but Victor Crowley would fuck up that clown. So
nice. I like it.
So David, if you're listening, and Damien, if you're listening, come on.
Multiple time guest. Maybe he's listening. All right. Thanks again, man. I appreciate this.
Adam, thank you so much.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was great. He had a half hour, so I was trying not to keep him too much longer.
Yep. Nope.
Right.
Sounds good.
Good. But yeah, so that was good. Steelbook, Hatchet.
Steelbook.
Yeah, you get all of them. The complete collection.
Nice.
So yeah, he was bringing up your picture. So maybe you have to
Oh.
draw a third one at some time.
Okay, yeah, have a new one for him. That sounds good. Keep that tradition alive.
Right. All right, everybody's starting. We didn't have a ton of time, but honestly, thanks him for doing it all. I don't want to make it seem like that I didn't appreciate that, but I didn't really have time to pop up a lot of stuff, is all I'm saying.
Yep.
But thanks you, everyone is here. We Christopher, Bubba. It came from the 508. Conventions
Nice.
are so essential. I missed the Best Buy special edition steelbooks. Yeah, this was really fun to watch all in order.
I bet it was. I haven't seen them in so long.
Yeah.
I'll have to revisit one day.
All right. So I like this though, Art versus Victor.
I do too. I'm definitely down with that. Any else over the last like 10 years that have had multiple movies? And
So Art Victor, I mean, I guess the Captain Spaulding, but he's passed away. But Otis, I guess.
All right. The aliens from the Quiet movies.
That's interesting. They're trying to think like a slasher, independent slasher. I don't know. So someone help us here. I mean, it's possible we could get Johnny from In a Violent Nature.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, like he needs a sequel though.
Smash.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Bill, we want to do a Hatchet event at the Gardena Cinema. I will send that info, Bill.
Coolness.
I can't promise anything, but he may be interested in that. But yeah, Hatchet's really fun. It was I must have seen the unrated before, but watching them, I was like, damn, these are the first, well, all of them, honestly, but they're so bloody, but they're really fun too. They're not like a feel bad movie.
Right.
And I'm not against that. I'm not against like, the torture porn or whatever, but these are just like a good time. You could just watch them and have fun, and you're not going to feel like really bad. Till the fourth one, maybe you'll feel bad.
Well, yeah, after his story about the woman drowning, then,
Yeah. It's cool seeing Kane act outside. I mean, I think that's overlooked sometime. People think if you're playing the monster, like anyone can do that, but they can't. But it's also good to see him acting without, all the makeup on in some scenes. The second one's cool because you see Tony Todd's character, become more part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume most people have seen these, but if not, I would recommend checking out the Hatchet movies. Actually, no, Michael J. Epstein out there has not seen the Hatchet movies, so we should watch them.
Then it is time. I don't know if I've ever seen the unrated. I didn't know until he had just mentioned about the R-rated and the unrated.
Yeah, the unrated's amazing. So yeah,
maybe I have not seen those. I'll have to look into that. Oh, Chrome Skull. I love me some Chrome Skull.
Yeah, Chrome Skull's really cool. That's actually a good pick. I know they were doing a new one of that, but I think someone involved passed away. Not our guy that we had on the show a lot, but Johnny versus Victor would be epic.
Oh yeah,
I guess maybe the guy. I guess Ghostface from Scream, but that's more 90s. That would be more. I guess it's still happening, but that's more the sequels. But I would put that one in the 90s.
I got a feeling he'd get his ass handed to him though.
Yeah, it's just it's just like a teenager.
Yeah. Yep.
But speaking of Art the Clown, from what I understand, in my Walmart, I cannot find them. Walmart, everyone else I'm seeing posting all this stuff. They have all this wild horror stuff. They have like a whole section of horror stuff at all the different Walmarts with Art the Clown masks and action figures and Sid Haig, Captain Spaulding, but ours had none.
Yeah, the Wareham Walmart let us down. We'll have to check Plymouth.
But I do also want to let folks know I have to watch these. But the good people at Severin Films have sent us this. This is a huge-ass box set called Danza Macabre Volume 3, the Spanish Gothic Collection.
Ooh.
Ever since Brunel, I need some light here. I'm gonna have to. I'm trying to have this cool lighting, so I look good, but I'm gonna have to turn on the flashlight here. Ever since Brunel and Dali sliced open an eye with un chin andalou, I'm gonna probably butcher all this. Spanish cinema has assaulted the audience with some of the most powerful imagery within the history of horror. That is from Fangoria. Spain's tradition of Gothic horror, particularly during the Franco dictatorship, was characterized by daring concepts, lush visuals, extreme sexuality, and a startling aesthetic all its own. These four classic shockers from the 1970s represent the genre at its most audacious. In Necrophagus, the debut feature of writer-director Miguel Madrid, a fractured family in a crumbling castle conceals a grisly graveyard secret.
Nice. That sounds good.
The anthology film Cake of Blood, never previously available outside of Spain, presents a quartet of supernatural tales by 4 young filmmakers. Hammer Films director John Gilling brings his inimitable style to the occult thriller In the Cross of the Devil.
Ooh.
And a terminally ill woman is enticed by eternal life in Leon Kilmonsky's vampire masterwork, The Night of the Walking Dead.
Nice. I've never seen any of those, so that sounds really cool.
With over 8 hours of special features.
Ooh.
Very cool. I'm glad that he was.
Features.
By the way, the Prince Charles Theater is very cool. Sometimes it's the smaller theater at Fright Fest, but it's also kind of the more like it's more intimate theater. It's a more underground theater, so it's very cool.
I dig it.
Bill actually says he has a Brunel tattoo on his left nipple.
Nice.
Pictures or it didn't happen. That's it. Robert Hall, R.I.P. Robert Hall.
Oh, yep.
All right. So we are going to have the world premiere tonight of the Arbor Day teaser. Should we do it now?
Might as well. And just let me throw it out there. Just remember, I do all my own stunts.
Boom. So here we go. This is the upcoming Without Your Head film, Arbor Day. Soon we're going to have a Kickstarter up so people can help out. The actual film will be filmed in a Blackmagic 4K, so it'll be more clear. I understand this is filmed with my old Sony cam, but it was still a fun time, I think. But this will give you an idea of what you are in store for. So here we go. Arbor Day teaser number 1.
The things you've read, the things you've learned, the things you know about Arbor Day lies.
Trees. Why did it have to be trees?
Steve, I need you to promise me no sap of an innocent tree will be spilled.
What the fuck?
days of Arbor Day. There we go.
I love it. I am so totally geeked about doing this.
Yes, I hope people like that. And hit the like button here, subscribe. If you want to help out the show, you can join the Nation of Decapitation, or you can Venmo Headyverse. And after the show tonight, the trailer will be live, so you can share it out to the world.
That was my pantomime for Venmo.
Great stunt work, Troy.
Thank you. Thank you. Tom Cruise got nothing on me.
Mm-hmm. Troy may be wearing a shirt by Mr. Outridge during the movie.
I will do so with pride. Maybe take another good tumble. You never know.
Oh, man. You'll fall with the shirt on?
Yep. It'll be immortalized. I get some blood on it, but it'll be worth it.
So the new Crow movie that's coming out that has people most of the people are hatred. They're just like, what the fuck is this? I actually think it looks good, and I know like I'm not supposed to, but it's got an R rating. So I know some people worried it was going to be, the PG-13 film, but it's going to be rated R.
Is the old one rated R?
I would have believed so. I think it's a really violent movie. I really just thought from the trailer, I thought it was pretty obvious it was going to be rated R. It looked pretty violent.
Yeah. It's got spooky Skarsgård. I'm down.
I like him
with
too.
that. Yeah.
I think it looks good. I know a lot of people are not into it, but
that and the new Nosferatu with him. Like, I'm definitely down with these two. Looking forward to both.
Yeah, the Nosferatu trailer dropped. We have it on the Without Your Head page. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah, I don't know. Looks good to me. It's got a great cast.
I'll give it a shot. Like,
the original Nosferatu is a masterpiece.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the remake is great too from the 70s. And then
too.
Shadow the Vampire I think is great as well.
Yep. This one's kind of neat because you get Defoe in it as a different character. So it's kind of cool. I think he must be like the Van Helsing type character in this one.
Yeah. I think that's kind of a cool little thing though, that he plays, Max Schreck in Shadow the Vampire, and then he's back as the hunter in the new Nosferatu.
Definitely.
And I know some people, and I agree sometimes, like they got to remake everything. But Nosferatu remake was like 50 years after, and now it's like another 50 years after that. So I think that's fine.
I think enough time has passed.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for Longlegs, Blood Pact Films. I agree. And I just found out today I'll be going to a press screening in Boston for Longlegs. So I'm very pumped.
Oh, that's awesome. That'll be tremendous.
Yes. I don't know. I was offered interviews, but I think for those I have to be in LA, which I'm not.
Oh, okay.
But maybe we'll get some remote interviews for the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes. But yeah, I'm really excited about it too. I'm a big fan of all these later crazy movies by Nick Cage.
Oh, me too. And
I like that there's very little
crazy, like the last one. I really liked it too. The one where
yeah,
he was
yeah. It was a low budget, weird movie. I liked it too. But yeah, I'm into it, and I like that you don't really know anything about this.
Oh yeah, yep. I think that's the best. Even like, and you hear all these things like Cage is at his craziest and stuff, but you don't know. You haven't seen him in it yet, so definitely excited.
Yeah. I could help with the LA interviews. That will be good to know in the future. I don't know if I could do this one or not, but in the future we will. I will keep that in mind.
Good to have like fingers on the West Coast. Good.
Yeah, sometimes I ask our boy Todd, but he's a little far out from LA, so he can't make it out. But he did go to the Toxic Avenger premiere for us last year.
Wow.
That's really weird. Boy, that was like a year ago.
You're not kidding.
It's still not having been released yet. But yeah, we get offered a lot, Bill. So that would be good. That's for the best way for films I'm really excited about. I make a note to avoid trailers and teasers. I try to, but I go to the movie so often, it's kind of hard sometimes to avoid the trailers.
But then sometimes, like, I'm in the other end now. Like, since I've retired, I don't really keep up on trailers like I used to.
Yeah,
And so now, like, when I hear of a movie coming out, usually I'm completely surprised.
that's true.
Sometimes it's nice to know certain ones that are coming up and you can look forward to.
Yeah. I had so many notes here, so I couldn't get to everything. But that did remind. I had a note here about, the it's not going to do any good to ask you, but the the original Hatchets like used the internet so much, especially for the first one, well, the first two really, to promote them before they were even released, and then the fourth one was like done in complete secrecy. So I just thought that was interesting to go a completely different route with it as well. Did you see these new the new NECA figures?
I'm not sure.
So all NECA figures are great, but
Yeah.
these are pretty amazing. I have to show you. They're not what you would expect. They're probably not the first thing that would pop in your head.
Now I'm even more intrigued.
But we have Murder, She Wrote.
Ha! Oh my God, that is great. Nice.
Look at the eyes.
Yeah, that is perfect. Oh, so she has like multiple heads?
Yeah. Multiple
Nice.
clothes.
Wow. Well, they spared no expense on this one. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, these are great. So
Agreed.
NECA figures amazing. I have a few around here.
Yeah.
If anyone ever was thinking of a gift to send, they're like, man, I really would like to gift Nasty Neil something. I would always take that. But really, though, if you are thinking of gifting, you should save it and momentarily and give to the campaign when we want.
Ooh. When is that one coming up? How much in the future are we looking?
I probably should do that fairly soon, actually.
Okay.
So we can see what our budget will be going forward. We're trying to make it, as inexpensive as possible. We have a lot of friends. I'm not sure if I should announce who, but we got some friends, they're lending us the camera, friends helping out with some gore stuff. But there's still expenses, obviously, to buy equipment, to feed everybody. We need to get an Airbnb for everyone to stay at. But we're still trying to keep it, as compressed as possible. Maybe pay people a few bucks. We have some horror friends involved that I can already announce. Bill Whedon,
Nice.
Michael St. Michael's,
Awesome.
Ed Gwynn,
Too cool.
Ryan Harrison from Ninja Badass.
Sweet.
And then there's some more that I can't really announce yet because it does hinge on if we could get some pesos. They're not asking for a fortune, but
Right.
they have to pay them a little bit. But there's some really cool horror folks.
That's awesome. See, just the people you announced are tremendous, and then like if you can add to that list, that'll be even cooler.
Exactly.
Got Warlock coming to visit.
Warlock. So is he named after like a warlock, or is he named after Adam Warlock?
Adam Warlock. You see his soul gem in the middle of his head there in between his eyes?
Yeah.
Yep. That's why he is Adam Warlock.
I knew he was, but I wanted to put it that because I didn't know if they would hear that and if they think I'm saying he's like named after the movie Warlock.
Oh yeah. Yep.
If Tazo's out there listening, might think you're satanic. And
Well, he thinks that anyway.
That's true. Let's see. Billy Coyne says he was impressed with the NECA Puppet Masters figures. Sweet.
Nice. Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with the NECA. I can't recall any. Maybe there are, but I don't think any that ever came out. I was like, man, that one stinks.
Yeah, me either. I mean, like you get those crazy ones. Like I'm a huge sucker for the sideshow figures, but you're talking $150 and up for those. So I mean,
Right.
they better be good, but they're like price wise, these things are just as good as anything you're gonna ever find. They're just amazing.
When one of the things on he said it a few times when I was listening to all the different commentary and stuff, Adam Green, and he was saying like they always bill him as a fan turned director, and he's like, it's kind of a silly thing to say because like who like just becomes a director and they don't like movies.
Yeah.
They're
Here's
like,
a guy
I
that
think
hated movies and then just started. So fuck it, I'm gonna direct
I've
anyway.
never seen a movie, but I think I'll just start doing this.
I'm just gonna go do it. Yep.
It is weird. I had a guest. I won't say their name. It wasn't very long ago, and they actually, when I asked their favorite movies, they actually did say that they weren't a big fan of movies, and I'm just like, what the hell?
See, those are the times when people lose me. Like, I think like Todd McFarlane, incredibly talented artist. I don't think he's a great writer, but like, as far as an illustrator goes, I don't think you find many better. But then I remember reading like interviews with him, and he was like, "Oh no," like they'd bring up Will Eisner and Jack Kirby and stuff, and like, "Oh no, I never read any of their stuff." And it's like, dude, your fucking work, you can see, shit you stole from Ditko and stuff you took from Kirby. So I mean, don't try to be too cool for school and pretend that you didn't,
Right.
know these people. Like, dude, you're just coming off like a dumbass.
Yes. So, Severed Limbs 17 is coming up. Sponsored by Amazing Fantasy Fest.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Good people.
And we have a sponsor for the next one that will be around Halloween time too. So there will be an 18. If you ever are interested in sponsoring a future one in next year, 2025, contact me. You'll get a banner up on the website. You'll get plugs on the show, and we'll forever be grateful to you. And you will also help independent filmmakers get seen by people who might not see them otherwise. Some people did suggest that we, charge for people to submit, but I really wanted to keep Severed Limbs free. Ever since we did it, was free to submit, free to watch. I think I get people who charge. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that's the bad way to go, but I like that a lot of people who don't submit to other festivals or get in other festivals get to submit to Severed Limbs. And I know people who wouldn't even be able to, really, even if it was $1 or something, they're probably not going to submit. So we're going to keep it free, and we've got people to sponsor the next two, so that's exciting. But we have
it always makes me think of like, when you originally started doing it, and like the whole pandemic thing, and everybody was like, man, I'd love to go to the festivals and stuff, but I can't. So you were like, okay, let's do one online, and boom, then we, that's where we went. So good job, Aston Hill.
Thank you. So we're gonna announce the first batch.
Ooh, I'm excited.
That have been accepted. I normally wait and do them out once, but we're gonna do it this way this time because it is.
How many you got in the first batch?
5. We have 5 films that have been accepted. We're gonna announce tonight. We don't have a ton of time, so you have 1 month to get these films in. It's going to be the first weekend of August. We're going to do the show. I was going to do it in July, but that really limited the time. So you got about a month to submit. And very, very not a lot of guidelines for this. Horror-esque. Oh, look at this. This is a sneak peek of the upcoming Severed Limbs 17 Ice Cream Man logo for the summertime.
Doo-doo. Then as I ink them in, you'll see more of them later.
I love it. So, so you have 1 month to do these. Get them in. So the horror-esque could be horror, thriller, weird, underground. We're not big sticklers for the genre. We're not going to say this isn't horror enough. Just use common sense. If it's like a, romantic comedy that's got no weirdness or anything, we probably won't it probably won't fit. But we're very broad with what goes in. So it doesn't have to be, a lot of blood or anything. Just horror or weird, underground, anything like that. We're good with.
Could be a romance. A man falls in love with an ogre or something.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. We already have one that I know I'm going to have to play near the end because
Ooh.
it has a lot of nudity.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be in the after hour block of Severed Limbs. Under 20 minutes. Sometimes we make exceptions, but I'm trying to stick to that rule because it's unfair if I let some people in and not others. The reason for that is we try to include as many people as possible. And if we have a lot of shorts that are like 25 minutes, 38 minutes, it makes the show, like 20 hours or something. We can't do that. But we try to keep it under 6 hours, which is still a long time. But if we do that and everyone's under 20 minutes, we can include a lot of people. And I'll be honest, if your short's under 5 minutes, you're probably going to get in.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see, under 10 minutes is a really good chance too, but under 20, the 20 is the cutoff line. It could be any year. So it doesn't have to be made this year. It could have been made a few years ago. Could have been made 20 years ago. That's fine. Just as long as we've never played it before. I have had people try to submit things again, which I didn't really understand, but you can't submit stuff twice. That's
sneaky. Stop doing that.
Right. And no experience level. So you could be, a 5-decade veteran filmmaker. That's fine. You could have never made anything in your life, and that's fine. Because we want to really promote. The thing is about being creative. So any level works. All right. So here we go. The first 5. The first one is the D word.
Ooh.
In the D word, a severely mentally distressed man rejected by his wife spirals into an affair, grappling with his fractured sanity. As he navigates the complexities of acceptance and rejection, his subconscious connection to Frankenstein's monster emerges, symbolized by the haunting mask he carries, blurring the line between fractured relationships and the monstrous echoes within.
All right, I dig it. I see it stars Chester Quackenbush.
Damn. Well,
any relation to Mike Quackenbush?
Oh, you know what? I don't know.
Hmm.
He probably would have been an AEW guy if he would have been on if the AEW was on earlier.
One of my dream things, but I don't know how old Quackenbush is, if he's can't wrestle anymore. But I always wanted to see him against Zack Sabre Jr. Because similar styles, wrap everybody up in any submission move in any direction, using anything. Would have been cool.
Peeping Patty.
Oh.
A Headless Cat Productions. Wow.
Nice.
A Stalker Goes to the Next Level. Filmed in Westmoreland, Tennessee. Filmed in 9 hours and edited in 10 hours.
Nice. Wow. This was no messing around. Just boom, I'm making this thing.
The Forbidden Books of Sharks. Annabelle will be very afraid of this one. A boy steals a magic book of sharks from the library and ends up releasing them in his bedroom.
Nice. Well, this might be the movie that you've been waiting for. You've always said there hasn't been a good shark movie since Jaws.
That's true. This will be as good as Jaws.
This might be the one.
The Book in the Cabin.
Ooh.
A traveler seeks refugee in a secluded. I think you should see refuge. Traveler seeks refuge. What says refugee? No, I'm sorry. A traveler seeks refuge in a secluded cabin, only to find out it's occupied.
Oh,
I like this cover.
Cover's great. Yeah.
Poster.
All right.
And finally, Halloween Enchantment. Halloween Enchantment. This Halloween, escape into the mystical pumpkin patch where shadows whisper and secrets lurk.
Nice. All right. I'm pretty geeked about these. These kind of have me looking forward to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Got a little Hatchet there.
That's my Victor Crowley I drew last
You
night.
show Adam that?
I did.
All right, good.
Whoops. I think he's had other people make him for him. But
Oh, okay.
thank you, Severed Limbs. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, so far we have 2 judges this year. We'll have some more, but one of them is this man right here, Christopher Eric Outridge, Severed Limbs alumni, and he
Nice.
didn't have a film for this one, so he'll be in a judge along
Perfect.
with Ty Chaman, who was on the show last week.
Very nice.
These look pretty good. That's right. So he'll be judging them. And our judges, I think they know this, but, these are independent, low-budget films, sometimes no-budget films. So, you're judging them on creativity. And not to say you overlook, if something's obviously not made well. You know what I'm saying? But you got to keep in mind, this isn't an MCU movie. This is, an independent short. I'm truly honored. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Chris is a good man. I like that guy.
Indeed, so do I.
So the new Quiet Place comes out. It's out now, actually.
Oh,
I've not seen it. Yeah, I've really not seen any. I've seen endless trailers because I see it every week and I go, but I've not seen anyone say it's good or bad yet.
Yeah, I haven't caught a review of any kind.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. So Troy,
Yes, sir.
myself, and our mom are going to go see it next week together. So we will be back next week to review the new Quiet Place. I forget what it's even called, but it's a Quiet Place, the beginning or something like that.
Oh, okay. I just call it a Quiet Place.
Day 1, I think. Day 1. It's a prequel. I kind of thought the last one was a prequel, wasn't it?
No, it starts off that way, and then
it's half prequel.
Yeah, because you see the dad at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm always apprehensive about prequels. I've seen some that work, so don't get me wrong, but I've also seen many that are I just didn't even really need to see it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's what we're hoping that this isn't going to be we've already established that these things are they don't see things, they hear things.
Right. So, yeah. So
you don't have to show me that all again.
Right. And if there's no explanation, it's just you see him killing everybody, that might be fun to watch, but is it really necessary?
Yeah, exactly. That to me means they didn't quite figure out how to do the next one yet. Because remember that one ended.
Yeah, because it ended with they started to figure out how to kill him.
Yeah. Yep. So let's hope that's not the thing. Geez, we would make the third one, but that's going to be tough. We got to do a lot of work. So let's make a prequel.
I would
just throw some shit in there.
Now this is a very dumb idea, so I understand this, but I would like to make a prequel to so you make some crazy horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then you make a prequel about all those characters, but it's before anything bad happens, so nothing bad happens. It's just
in the entire movie?
Right. It's just like a rom-com. Just a rom-com about the characters just having a good time, and people be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that'd be they'd have before they met the Predator. This is the story of, Jesse the Body and Big A and Carl Weathers and stuff when they're just fucking hanging out.
Yeah. Well,
and they show them at the strip club and stuff. They're
right, because I think people would at least they'd be, kicking ass and destroyed. But yeah, they're not even doing that. They're just, any kind of slasher, if you did a prequel and it's not about the killer, it's just about all the characters and they're just all hanging out. It's like a hour and a half episode of Friends.
All right. I
don't even like those shows, but I just think it would be funny.
Like the kids from Texas Chainsaw before they went on their road trip.
Exactly.
They're just hanging out and
they're smoking weed, having sex. And everybody's wondering what the hell's going to happen. And then it just ends when you see the hitchhiker walking down the street. And that's how the movie ends.
Yep. And they're like, we're going to go on a road trip to Texas. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Now the reverse of that might work better. But that would be funny to me because it'd be like you'd be throwing the on. The reverse of that, you make a comedy. And then the follow-up is is you introduce a killer. And so let's say you made The Hangover. And people's like, what? They've done 3 of them. What are we going to do the 4th one? The 4th one is now they all get murdered by like a killer.
So
and now
the other 3 were just a setup for this 4th one.
Exactly. So
All right.
now it's just it's build up. And then the idea would be like, because it's always like, well, this slasher work because I care about the characters now.
Oh yeah, now you're totally invested. You've had 3 movies worth of these guys.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then they all get murdered in horrible ways.
And then you feel bad. And they bring in that like the funny Asian sidekick guy, and he gets murdered too. And you're like, holy shit.
Really? Eastbound, they announced Eastbound and Down's coming back for another season. Or Kirby Enthusiasm just ended. They bring it back, and it's all about like Larry getting stalked, and all his friends are getting murdered. And then the final episode, it's Larry's the final girl.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
So no one will take this idea because it's terrible, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with it. Like, you find a really long running thing. Something that's been going on for like 10 seasons or more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with Larry David.
Yeah, you couldn't be any more like emotionally vested into the characters then and be like, I love these fucking guys,
Yeah, even bring back Seinfeld comes back for one more season. They all get killed. Jason Ewart. Always grateful, guys. Thank you, Jason. Blood Pack Films support indie horror. I agree 100%. If you haven't yet, Blood Pack Films, please submit to your severed limbs. And also, everyone, please hit the like button. Subscribe here to Without Your Head. Leave some comments. Share these out. Check out the archives. We have a giant full archive. And if you'd like to help out the show, you can join here. It starts at only $5, and it helps cover all the costs to run this fine place. And if anyone tonight sends in a super chat of $5 or more, as a thank you, I will send you a Without Your Head sticker that matches my hat.
Nice. I dig it.
So that'll be a thank you if anyone would, or if you join the Nation of Decapitation, or you super chat $5, I'll send you one of those. It's a thank you. You're not buying a sticker. All right. Black Phone 2, they announced. I love the first one, so I'm excited about this. I know some people were not into it. I was into it.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Like, it was weird. I saw it before I read the book. Well, the short story. And then, but you had already set me up. You were like, don't expect the story to, take you too far, because it doesn't.
Yeah, and after I read that, I was not really looking forward so much to the movie, because usually, I'm sure there are other exceptions. When I've watched full movies that are based off like a super short story, they're usually not good.
Yeah,
like the Lawnmower Man or something. Because it's like, what the? I mean, it's got nothing to do with this. But this one, there was enough in the short story that it piques your interest, like what is happening and what's going on. And I think that was they picked the right short story to expand.
They did. They definitely did.
It's just like the seed of something.
I think that the only other I think is like a Stephen King one would be Children of the Corn. Which,
right, and that's a movie some people don't like, but I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Some people must. They made like 20 of them.
I know, that's true. Not bad for like a 20-page story or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know how long the Black Phone was though. It was like,
I think it's like a 6-page story.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like 3 minutes long. When I was like, I was like, what the hell? How are they going to make this?
Yep.
But they did a good job really expanding it and adding to it, but making it still like, the same idea there. They did a lot with the movie too, I thought, without showing a lot.
Oh yeah, true. Very true.
Because they really hinted at the main guy being very bad.
Oh yeah.
And they don't go into it, but they leave it up to your imagination, which I think was wise, because one, you don't really want to film like
Oh yeah, horrible things to kids. Yeah, you don't really want to like.
like
You don't need
sexual
to see
stuff.
it.
Yeah. But the way they did it was you knew that's what they meant.
Oh yeah.
And so what you're thinking of is going to be like, wow, this is, this is bad stuff. So it was done really well, I thought.
Agreed.
And he was great as
Oh
as
yeah.
the killer guy.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
No. Wow.
No,
yeah.
no, it's Russell Crowe is he's in the new
Who am I thinking of?
yeah, not Russell Crowe, but I'm gonna look him up now. I forget his name.
Yeah, I do too. From
He's got a brother and stuff, right? No, Ethan Hawke. Ethan
Hawke. All right, I knew it was a bird.
Yeah, I really liked the whole cast. I thought the girl was great, the
Yeah.
kid, and Jeremy Davies, who plays the dad, I thought was really good in it too.
Yep, agreed.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. By the way, I've seen mostly hate for it, but I actually like The Exorcism.
Oh, did you?
I saw some people saying it was like very typical, and I don't agree with that at all. Even if you don't like it, it's not necessarily the most exciting movie, but it's completely different than any other Exorcist movie.
Oh, is it? All right, good.
He does from the poster you think he's a priest, but he's an actor who takes a role as a priest.
Oh, okay.
And then as an actor, like a method actor, they want him to draw upon like his inner pain to play this character, and that's like kind of how the possession gets in. I thought it was really interesting, and I thought Russell Crowe, I think on paper you think he's miscast because he's the guy he doesn't have the power over anyone in the movie. Everyone has power over him, and I think you think like that's probably not a good role for him, but I thought he really excelled. I thought it was a completely different thing for him.
That's good. Like I'll never give like any movie problems for trying something different.
Yeah, I liked it.
Anytime you can like kind of think outside the box, or give me something I haven't seen before, I'm usually happy.
In a weird way, the more supernatural elements is probably like the least interesting parts of the movie. I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, I liked it. Is it gonna change cinema or anything? No, but I thought it was a good movie.
That's all you can really ask for.
Doug Sackman, who played Kabuki Man, passed away.
Well, R.I.P. man. That's
younger than me.
Wow. I didn't even realize that.
Damn.
Wow.
44. Very young.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. I've heard everyone's just saying really great things about him.
Yeah, I've never heard anything but nice things about the guy.
Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, that was sad news. Robert Englund and John Carpenter announced that they're both going to have stars on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, that's cool. They're going to be near each other?
I don't know. I know some people are like, they got to pay for the, and I get that is an element. But as a horror fan, isn't it cool that John Carpenter and Robert Englund will have stars in the Walk of Fame that will be there forever? And when you go to Hollywood, you go walk and find them. I know when I go, it's like, hey, like there's Boris Karloff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's Godzilla.
Does Godzilla have a star? Yeah. I did not know that.
There's Russo and Frank.
That's you see all the stars as you walk down Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, there's people I don't know who they are, but they have stars. I'm like, that's cool.
Some that you recognize, some that you hardly even heard of.
Touchdown!
Nice.
End Zone 2 coming out soon. Adam had brought up the Terrifier guys, and that you can right now sign a petition to get the Terrifier popcorn bucket.
Oh my God, absolutely! I am totally
want to get this out.
That's my new thing that I mark out for our popcorn buckets. I think they're fucking great. I think the first one that really grabbed me was the D&D one. Yeah. The 20-sided die, and now you look on like eBay, they're going for like $400. It's like you can't get one now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have one of these that you like, get it as quickly as you can, because you never know.
See it. Our boy Justin B. Head Justin Beheading. He's got a crowdfunder for the new season of his series. So help that out. Help our
Oh, do
friend
it.
out. We want to see more of these. He's a good man. Help
Yep.
out indie cinema.
Good man, does good work. Like, Justin's one of our go-to guys. We love him.
Yes. So big thumbs up to Justin. So coming up on the show, who do we have?
Who is it?
Let's see.
Help me, Nasty Neil.
Sarah Karloff will be on the
Nice.
show soon.
Looking forward to that.
I think I actually had the guest next week, didn't I? Oh, yeah. So next week is 4th of July. So we're going to do the show Wednesday, the 3rd of July. Because I assume people are going to want to be shooting off fireworks. Or having barbecues. Don't shoot off fireworks if you're by Troy. But
That's right. My dogs won't appreciate it.
Yeah. Or shoot off the ones that are sparkly and stuff.
Yeah, yep. You don't need to shake the ground with a quarter stick. I don't see the point.
So, okay, this is where we're on common ground. I've never really even been to those anyway, but I am pro fireworks, but I like the ones that just look fun.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm definitely
I've never been a big firecracker guy or M80 and stuff like that. So, all right, so here's common ground. Go out there, have fun, light up stuff that looks fun.
Yep.
And be safe and be careful.
Do some rockets and like what are the ones? The Roman candles.
Roman candles are always fun.
Boom, boom, boom. See those suckers shooting around. It's all good.
So next Wednesday, we will have Lisa Wilcox and Danny Hassel of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. They're going to be on the show talking about the double feature coming to Gardena Cinema, who we had our boy was here in the chat from Gardena Cinema. That will be on July 13th. You'll be able to see Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 double feature in person with Lisa Wilcox and Danny Hassel. So you can hear them on the show, talk about the movie, then go see them in person.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. So figured out how to get the show live again on the group, on the Facebook group.
Oh,
I think it's actually working, but I did not. I don't think it went live until a little late because I did not do the final step. But in theory, it's live. Maybe it's not even live. I don't know.
But it might be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's got comments and stuff. So yeah, it's live up there. All right. So we're wherever you're listening, we're streaming now on X. We're streaming on Facebook on multiple places, on my Facebook, on the Without Your Head Facebook, the Without Your Head group, on Twitch. Anywhere, wherever you're listening, go to the YouTube page, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it out because that will help us the most.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you watching and listening wherever it is.
Yep. If you're doing your daily run and you're listening to it on a podcasty kind of thing, then Yahoo. Wherever you got it.
Build the France here. I bought the Dune 2 bucket, but I haven't consummated our relationship yet. What the hell are people going to be doing to the art head?
Oh, man. Well, I think the isn't the Wolverine and Deadpool like the bucket?
Yeah, they're just. Is that real? They just have like the fuck. They should rename them Fuck It Bucket.
All right, now that would be perfect. Yep.
So I had an idea too. I posted on this on Facebook. Some people are like, oh, whatever. People, I want to make a series. They're going to be smashers. We've had slashers for decades. Since the 70s now. It's 50 years of slashers. I'm into them. I'm not against them. I'm not saying don't make them anymore. But this is how I want to promote my own killer movie. Maybe the future after Arbor Day down the road. And we're going to bill it as the first ever smasher. Because there's going to be no blades. The killer no machetes, no axes, no spears. It's all blunt weapons. So the killer's got a hammer, got a big rock.
Trauma.
Right. And he's going to smash everyone. So yes, I know there's been hammers in movies before. I get it. You don't have to tell me every movie that's ever been made's got a hammer. I understand this. And definitely don't be telling me The Shining, The Shining is not a slasher movie. Yeah, he's got a croquet mallet.
axe.
Does he kill anyone with the croquet mallet? No, he walks around with it. That's not a slasher movie. Smasher. The first ever smasher.
I
And it's
like
just
it though.
all head smash of
Club.
arms,
Big-
legs.
Big wooden club,
Exactly. Yeah.
mallet, a hammer, a
Mallets.
mace.
Right. I have a specific idea, but I don't want people to steal it. But
That's right.
so yeah, the
I'm
first
looking
ever
over. I got a
smasher.
6-pound sledge right over there. That would be perfect.
This is how. And people, there's been but they never called themselves a smasher. We're gonna call it the first ever smasher. All right. You are welcome, Bill
Round and
DeFrance.
pound. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yes,
Some people
that's-
just want to rain on your parade. They're like, "Oh, there's been a movie with us." I know
Right.
that. Can't you just have some fun and roll with me here?
No, we must be deathly serious and like get all pissy.
Yes, I take my head smash. If you take your head smashing really seriously, you're probably like a psychopath or something.
Yeah. Like, as you'll see my collection of brains over here, I'm very, serious about my murdering.
All right. So yeah, coming up, we got some cool guests. It's gonna be a good time.
It's always a good time.
Yeah. So soon we're gonna be playing us out with Salem's own Brix N Mortar, our music of the month.
Bricks and mortar, is that their like symbol?
No, I don't know. It's just
I like that.
But yeah, it's cool. It doesn't really signify anything, but we need to bring Justin B. Head back on to do a top 13. Now Rigo, our buddy Rigo's on the show. He suggested Killer Dolls. I like this idea.
Ooh. Yep.
That's a possibility. But you find folks out there. What are some of your ideas you would like us to do a 13? What if you don't know what a 13 is? It'll be basically like a top 10 list, but it's 13. So we'll have whatever it is, your favorite vampire. We've done a lot of these, but vampires, maybe something more specific. And we'll come on the show. It'll be a group of us, and we'll run down our top 13, whatever category you think. So anybody out there has some fun ideas, let us know. Alien horror movies.
How about some like more obvious ones that like I don't know if we've done, like actors? Have
Our
we ever
favorite
done, like,
actors?
our favorite actors.
That's a good one.
I don't know
So
if we
would they
ever
be
have.
villain actors or hero or just straight up
Just
actors?
anybody in horror, like it could be, a character actor,
Dom DeLuise.
exactly.
Right.
Anybody, that may have been in like a horror flick.
I like
Maybe
it.
he just slid through like Jack, like he did like a couple of Corman films and
Yeah. I don't
and
want
The
to.
Shining. So, Jack could be on the list.
I like this. All right, we'll think of some. I like this. The actors are good. Villains. I think we've done villains, but we'll figure out. It'll be fun. And let us know if anyone out there has some fun ideas. Maybe future favorite popcorn buckets that we want to see.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
I like this idea. Favorite popcorn buckets that we want to see.
Yeah. Oh
Not that's already been made. That would be a good one.
So
actually.
good. Yeah.
That would
'Cause I
probably
think
be
for like even a lot of the old, I don't want to give too many away, but like I think like the Blob, and it could like move. It could be, some kind of, it shimmies and shuffles around. So I don't know how you could do it, but the Blob popcorn bucket.
I like it.
That's on my
Serbian
list.
film. Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, Anthony Choboat Pop Culture. His is a very long name, Anthony. Anthony Choboat does pop culture,
And
cultures
opening.
and opening. All right. Yo, Troy Neal. Thumbs up, thumbs down tomorrow on YouTube. Well, you better give us thumbs up or else it's going to be fist up.
I'm hoping that our teaser trailer gets the thumbs up. Arbor Day better get the thumbs up.
All right. Let's show it one more time here. It's only a couple minutes. Anthony, did you
Absolutely.
see it? Let's show it, and then we'll come back real quick, and then we'll.
This
head
one's
on
going
out
out to you, Anthony.
The things you've read, the things you've learned, the things you know about Arbor Day lies.
Trees. Why did it have to be trees?
Steve, I need you to promise me no sap of an innocent tree will be spilled.
What the fuck?
Beware the trees of Arbor Day!
All
I
right.
just love it.
This looks awesome here
That's
from
the
Anthony. We appreciate that. All right. So again, yeah, get the like button, all that stuff. Submit your films to Severed Limbs. Just look up Severed Limbs on
Submit them.
Film Freeway. There's links all over the place. It's filmfreeway.com/severed limbs.
That's my pantomime for submit them.
Submit.
Submit them.
All right. All right. So, and then we're going to have a crowdfunder up soon in the coming weeks to help support and get Arbor Day funded.
It's
And,
not good when you can't remember our own movie.
Right. I almost said Severed Limbs again. Was what happened.
Oh, okay.
All right. So until next week, also go out there and get yourself the Hatchet Steel Box. You can see all these movies in glorious gore. They look amazing on Blu-ray. Until next week. Next week it'll be Wednesday. This is Nasty Neil.
That would make me Terrible Troy.
And this is Without
Your
Head.